And hi and welcome, John Morris Show on a Wednesday. And look who's here, our good friend. And we hope yours, Jerry Hill, with us. Regular Wednesday visit.
Yes.
Can we be perfectly upfront and peel back the curtain? We have a athletics department staff meeting that's going on right now. If people are watching this live, it's going on right now.
Yeah.
We sort of need to be at the staff meeting. We're recording this ahead of time. Thanks for making it work.
Absolutely. It does throw me off a little bit because I'm in a routine.
Creature of habit.
So, but we'll make it work, John.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for making it work. Lots to talk about. So didn't want to miss you this week, but let's spin the wheel. And it starts with how about a national championship for Baylor acrobatics and tumbling.
What a stunning shocker, wasn't it? I guess the only somewhat surprising was it wasn't Oregon in the final with them.
Yeah, true.
So it was Quinnipiac.
It was, which shows there are other programs that are, coming on.
Yeah, so I think that, and that is good. It was in Azusa Pacific. I think, there's several programs now that have elevated their game, and, again, they're not catching Baylor, and as Coach Fee said, certainly not this year. But yeah, actually it wound up being a fairly close.
Yeah.
When you compare it, 5 points. When you compare it to some of their other ones, so that was good. And then basically swept all the All-American type awards, and won, I believe, John, it was 7 individual events titles. So man, just they're so dominant. But it is good to see other of the schools kind of elevate their game, trying to at least get close to Baylor.
Right.
That's the gold standard.
It really is.
Yeah.
And Fee would have it no other way. She wants teams to be better, to challenge them, to push them.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that she needs much motivation or needs pushing, but I think she likes that for the sport.
No, and I think that's where she wears multiple hats, but I think that is where, in that role of kind of the one who, basically developed this sport and, or created it in essence, she really does want to see the sport grow. And obviously it has, by next year, they'll have the blue dot and we'll have NCAA championships this time next year, and hopefully right here in River City. I think she loves seeing other schools, and what they're doing is, in a lot of cases, is they're copying Baylor. They're trying to do a lot of the skills and stuff that Baylor is doing. So, imitation, greatest form of flattery.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of schools are doing that. They're seeing what Baylor does. They're trying to copy some of those things. And, it's still a way to come. But, at least they're trying to raise their bar to get, up to Baylor's level.
Garrett asked me this yesterday, and I answered it the best I could, but let me ask you. He says, where do they recruit from? Is there much transferring in acrobatics and tumbling? What do you think?
Well, it's in several different areas. They do recruit out of the cheer group, but also, gymnastics, the acro tumbling type area. So there's really 3 or 4 type area. And I don't know exactly how that recruiting works, if they're going out there and because in other sports, you go to different tournaments, events and stuff. And I'm not sure, that's probably a good question for Fee, but they're getting them from all different areas. I believe Peyton was more from the cheer, Peyton Washington, who was back-to-back NCATA National Athlete of the Year. She came more from the cheer background, but, a lot of the bases and stuff are more from, that acro area. But yeah, just kind of all over, just giving them, again, that was her big deal, was giving more athletes more opportunities.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Yeah. Congratulations,
Yes.
Felicia Mulkey, best coach in the world, or the best program in the world.
Absolutely.
Acrobatics and tumbling. 11 straight NCATA national championships.
15 for Fee.
And 15 for her, yeah. Only thing that could slow her down was COVID. One year when they didn't have a champion. Yeah. All right, you spent the weekend at Clyde Hart Track and Field Stadium, Michael Johnson Invitational.
Yeah.
some really good performances turned in there.
Yeah, it was a great meet, John. I mean, it's always fun to host home meets, and particularly at that stadium. And we had a good group in, a good number of teams in, but really a great event for Baylor. I think it was 7 event titles there, and I think this was the 3rd consecutive home meet that it was 1, 2, 3. And sometimes it was, reversed in terms of how the order went. But Molly Haywood, Tinley Kuhn, and Alencia Lentz went 1, 2, 3 in the pole vault. And Molly had a season best, which actually tied Tinley's season best, 14:10 1/4. So she won that. So that, and there were, Chariah Kelly, who it was only her second 200 of the year, and she ran 22:51, which is, top 5 or so in the country right now. So she had opened up the week before at Florida, but she ran this week and also ran on the 4x1 and 4x4 relays. And then to cap it all off, both 4x4 relays won and ran really good times, season bests for the women by a bunch, like 2.5 seconds. So they ran 3:32. The men ran their second straight 3:05, a little bit higher than what they did at Florida last week. But Mike's still kind of playing with that order for the men. But yeah, just a really good meet, a lot of good performances. And this will lead into, they go to one more meet, the A&M Muster Invitational, Alumni Muster Invitational this weekend at College Station. And then they go to the Big 12 meet the following week in Arizona.
Yeah. Very cool. And a lot associated with the meet this year, especially senior recognition, the 1976 team reunion, 50 years.
Yeah.
Did you get to be around those guys?
I did. Obviously Maxie Parrish more than anybody, but I did, I saw your buddy Ricky Thompson. Yeah. We shared our big hug, so that was fun. But yeah, that was a great group and actually a pretty good turnout of them too. So and if you look on X Twitter, I think it's off the Baylor track account, but I ran side by side photos of Bryce Cherry was kind enough to send me a shot that Coach Hart had given him from that 76 team. I'll say a young Clyde Hart.
Wow.
50 years ago. Think about it. Yeah. And then there, a lot of those champions, particularly individual champions from that 1976 squad. And I said, can you, kind of a Wally, find Waldo, find Ricky, and it's actually easy. Like he's
that
kind
hair.
of he's kind of in the middle, and I mean you can tell from the faces. I was like, I recognized it immediately, but that was kind of cool. And then side by side with one of our photographers, shot the reunion of them out on the field, so that was cool. And then they finished up with a dinner that night at Brazos Landing. So just a kind of a really cool weekend for them. And then the other one, like you said, there were a lot of moving pieces that day. Also honored Jason Baldridge, the late Jason Baldridge, as the Baylor legend of the meet. And, he passed away last August after a battle with leukemia, was a hurdler here, 400-meter hurdler, and also ran on the relays. So that was cool. A lot of his family was back. And I would say back on that senior day deal, man, there was a ton of family and friends and stuff. It was really cool, that's John. Great. So the whole weekend, the whole meet was really good. So glad that all that worked out.
Yep. Very cool. Well done there. How about, let's touch on men's and women's golf. The women finished 7th in the Big 12 tournament. The men competing in the Big 12 men's tournament this week.
Yeah, got off to a great start on Monday. They were in 7th place, but they shot really well. Alex Hurd, the UConn transfer, that is actually the reigning Big East Conference champion. He's right in the mix. He shot back-to-back 69s. They played 2 rounds on Monday. 18 yesterday, and then 18 on Wednesday to wrap it up. So they're in the mix. Oklahoma State shot an unbelievable round, 13 under, set a Big 12 record at Prairie Dune. Right. So 267, 30. So they kind of put it out there where it's going to be hard for anybody to catch them. But Baylor played really well. And as I mentioned to you, Patrick Babb, Baylor freshman, did not make that trip, but he played in a local qualifier right here at Ridgewood Country Club, and he finished second in that, shot 3 under 67, and he qualified. It's just one step, but it's a U.S. Open local qualifier. He goes to the sectional qualifier in May at Dallas Athletic Club, and I think, John, there may be one more after that, but he made it through that first 6 spots, made it through, and he was one of those. So, and Tyler Sanford from the team, and actually his roommate shot 70, so he didn't make that top 6, but played well as well, even par 70 at Ridgewood.
Wow, very good. That's fun to watch.
Yeah, and we also had a meeting on Monday to discuss the NCAA Women's Golf Regional that's coming here.
Oh, that's here.
May 11th through the 13th. Henry Howard led the meeting. We discussed a lot of things in terms of facilities, just kind of covered all the different areas. So it was really cool. Getting excited about that.
That's nice. Tennis, men's and women's. They got the news on Monday. They're both in the NCAA tournaments, and the men hosting here in Waco.
Yeah, that's cool, John. I mean, I think it had been since 22 that the men had hosted, but hosting right here as the number 10 seed overall, and I think a good pairing. You know, I don't know that Michael would just come out and say, "Oh, that's exactly who we wanted," but they're playing. They're matched with LSU as the 7th seed. Not really a blue blood, in tennis. They're a younger team too. I think their top 2 might be freshmen. Now they're really good freshmen, but again, Baylor has the experience edge there. So if you can get through the first 2 rounds here, that would be big. They play Tulsa in the first round. So that's a test. I mean, Tulsa's, kind of a name in tennis. They've hosted, obviously, the NCAA championships. That's where Baylor won in 2004. But Baylor's had some pretty good battles with Tulsa. So that'll be even a tough first round matchup. And I'm drawing a blank a little bit, but I know they have a potential
Auburn and
was it one of the California schools?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't remember if it was Santa Barbara or one of those, but so either way, they're going to have a test in that second round, if assuming they get past Tulsa. But it's all here. That's the big thing, is they're going to host those first 2 rounds here, hopefully get through that. And then, if LSU gets through theirs, then Baylor would travel there for that. I guess it would be round of 16.
Okay.
And then the winner there advances to final sites.
Okay.
So
Garrett's ears perked up when you said LSU.
Oh, really?
He thought they might be coming here. But
no.
Got to go to Baton Rouge.
We had to have been a little, well, I guess they would have had to reverse there. Yeah. I mean, 7-10.
Yeah.
So, but it'll be cool. I mean, I don't remember the last time Baylor would have played LSU. So it'll be good. Either way, but I like Baylor hosting, and then the women, it's almost become a tradition that one or both teams go down there, but the women are going to A&M and will face Wisconsin in the first round. And then obviously A&M, I believe, is the 4 seed.
Okay.
I think that's right, because I think they were matched with 13. So A&M's really good. I mean, that's, quite clear. But
that's a 4 seed nationally.
4 seed nationally. Yeah. Baylor will be I think Baylor's the 2 seed there, I think. But they're playing Wisconsin, and that's a tough first round matchup. But this Baylor team, there is some youth on it, but there's also some more experienced players. Nadong, she moved from 4 to 1, but has played really well this year. Zuzana Kubacha, is that right? What you talked with her?
Kubaha. It looks like Kubacha.
Kubaha.
Yeah.
She has played really well. Kennedy Gibbs. So they've got some really nice players at the top of their lineup. So and some experience. So we'll see. They've had to rely on some freshmen more in the bottom half of the order, but that's a good women's team as well.
All right. Baseball and softball, both coming off rough weekends, but great opportunities this week. Baseball home. Actually, for counting last night's game, 7 of their next 8 at home, and Texas Tech coming in. And softball goes to Texas Tech this weekend. Yeah,
tough. It was tough really for both of them. But, the women softball needing probably to win one of those. But the nice thing was, John, they took one thing out of the equation when they beat – was that North Texas they beat? who was it they beat
softball,
on?
Texas State.
Texas State. When
Down
they beat
there.
them, which is a top, they were 30th in RPI, and that assured that they will finish with an above 500 record for the regular season. Because they only had, at that point, they only had 6 games left, and they were 27-20. So that was a big step. And, beating a good RPI team. Obviously, this past weekend, like I said, didn't go well. Texas Tech going out there will be tough, but Texas Tech has already clinched it. So they don't really have anything to play for other than maybe national seed.
Right.
But, and they haven't been completely invincible. They've lost some games. Most of them have been on the road. But, I think Baylor goes in there with, the confidence that, they've been on the field with some of the best teams in the country. And, I think they go in there with, Peyton Tanner is pitching well. So I think, some of those things will help them go in with some confidence against a really good Tech team. And then, like you said, Texas Tech baseball coming in here. I think this is a chance for baseball to kind of get back on track. Tech has not been what Tech has been in the past.
Right.
They're still a good team, but, they're not the dominant, national seed type thing that they have been in the past. So I think this is a chance, if Baylor can just win the series. They host UCF next weekend. That's a big series as well. So, if they can just kind of stay afloat, and then I think they finish at Utah, John. So this is a stretch that's maybe a little bit more doable for them. And if they can kind of get back on the winning track, I think that would be big, going into the Big 12 tournament. So, yeah, both teams kind of wrapping up the regular season or close to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Home stretch.
Yeah.
And then football, to wrap that up,
Yep.
Spring football ended, open practice on Saturday.
Yeah.
Fan Fest, you were busy at track, but I thought it was just fantastic. The whole setup, the plan, all the things they had available was just great.
Yeah, everything I heard about it, John, was just, everything was really well done. A lot of fans out there. I know the youth challenge deal went really well. And that grew. Like I remember being out there last year, and there was a good number, but I think it really grew this year. So that's great having that out there. But yeah, a lot of fans and just, a fun event. I think that was the deal. It was fans and fun and football.
There you go. Put that on a T-shirt.
I don't think that's quite Doug Mack's 3. I think one of his is funding, but
and funding.
Yes,
that would be the 4th.
That would be the 4th F. Yes.
Oh, I thought it was great. They did a great job for that. All right, anything we didn't touch on?
Man, last week I felt bad that I missed one. We covered the tennises. That's good. And I think we got everything, John. It's again, kind of a busy time, but now we've got one that's finished, A&T national champ. So hopefully we can get a conference championship or 2 down the road.
Ooh, let's do that. All right. Appreciate it. Thanks for
John.
making it work. Appreciate it. Jerry Hill, Baylor Insider. Always great to visit with him, get his thoughts on all things Baylor athletics.